Today we're going to be talking about scoring movies from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, depending on your, religion, I guess. I love Letterboxd, but they have 5 stars. But I always think of things in 10. That's a pretty well-established number. You know what I mean? Like ranking something 1 to 10, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. I feel like that's a pretty tried and tested method of scoring at the perfect denomination, right? So I'm putting this down for a second. My mouth is so dry. What's my take on it? What am I here to say about, scoring a movie 1 to 10? I think it's fun. You could take it very seriously, or I think you can follow my school of thought, which is that it's impossible to give an accurate number score because everything is subjective and there's no measurements for abstract ideas. There's no measurement for what's good or what's funny. There's no way to prove anything scientifically. Scoring a movie 1 to 10 can be a really good way to, show somebody how you feel in a movie, but I think you should take every rating with a grain of salt because it's a fucking number to place 120 minutes worth of art. It's very rudimentary. But now it sounds like I'm hating on it, but I'm talking about why I like scoring things on a 1 to 10 scale. I know I just said that you don't have to take it serious, or you really shouldn't, but I take it half serious. I act like this is a second profession or something. Spend a lot of time thinking about my number scores. It's really hard to come down to a solid number score. Anytime I watch a movie, I spend the whole movie thinking about what number score it is currently, and it's kind of a problem, actually. I would say I think it's probably not very healthy. It's a profession, okay? It's not making me any money, but it is my profession. I take this shit seriously, okay? I take everything back I said. You should take this seriously. This is real stuff. I think the baseline number is 5. 5 to me, it's like the most mediocre you can get. It's right in the middle. It does nothing good, nothing exceptional. You would have to pay me to watch it again. I'm probably not going to think about it that much ever again, but it also does nothing bad. It does nothing inherently vile or wrong. It also is so unmemorable that it's gone. As soon as those 90 minutes end, it's just clean slate up here. So where should we go from here? Should we go up or go down? I guess we can kind of talk about them in tandem. When you go up from a 5, you get a 6. When you go down from a 4, down from a 5, you get to a 4. Here's where the line crosses from right in the middle to good or bad. 6 is good, 4 is bad. 6 is a movie that you got something out of. It's like a 60-40 good to bad percentage. 6 could be a score you give to a movie you like a lot, but is maybe generally considered to be bad. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to 7, but 6 could also be a movie you don't like that much, but you acknowledge it's like slightly above averageness. It depends how you score movies. For me, it's a mix. Sometimes I will give a movie what I think it would deserve as a score based on what it does for movies or just, how it uses good techniques and stuff. Or sometimes I can give a movie a 6 because that's just how much I like it. I like it on a 6 out of 10. Like the High School Musical movies are probably objectively like a 2. They're horribly shot and the music, I guess the music is good, but the acting's bad. On most levels, the movie is bad, but I like it and it's a fun movie, so I gave it a 5 or a 6 or 7 or something like that. Whereas when we get to 4 is just below okay. It crosses the line and it's bad. It's a movie you don't want to watch. If somebody put it on and you were forced to watch it, you would make it out, but you wouldn't be happy. You walk out with a bitter taste in your mouth. You're like, I wish we watched something better. Perfect description of this is I just rated Bridesmaid a 4 out of 10. And my friend Tommy, me and my girlfriend, we go over to our friend's house and watch movies sometimes. He really likes this movie and he watches it all the time. And we watched it. That was the one we watched for that night. As the movie was going on, I was just like, this really just isn't doing it for me. I think the comedy, a lot of the times the jokes were stretched a little too far. I thought the story was painfully average and the comedy just didn't make up for it. And overall, my experience was tainted and I really couldn't sit through the movie, and I got a burrito that I really didn't like, but I was rushed into picking a decision. They're gonna say they didn't rush me. I was being rushed. So it was a 4 out of 10. It wasn't a good experience, so it's gonna get a bad. Let's move up 1. All right, this brings us to a 7 out of 10 versus a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10, that is a really uncommonly used rating. I've only given like 3 movies a 3. A 3 is really hard to place because a 4 is just bad, where it's like, just below okay. I feel like once you get towards the 2 range, where you get to a movie being 80 or 90% bad, it is not only objectively bad in terms of cinematic technicalities and acting and, you know, the rules of cinema and whatnot. But it's also a 2 out of 10 because you fucking hate it. What's the in-between of a 2 and a 4? 4 is where it's just getting not very good, and a 2 is when you dislike the movie. I guess a 3 would just be some level of I'm really not happy right now. The 2 is more of a fucking shoot me right now. No, more of like a I would rather be getting my nipples squeezed as hard as possible than watching this. So where we get to a 7 based on a 3. A 7 is where things start getting a little spicy. That's where it's like, and that was good. That was good. Probably a movie you might watch regularly. Like, I gave The Nice Guys a 7 out of 10. And I really liked that movie. The only reason I brought it down a bit is because I think the story fucking sucks, kind of. It's really like a really boring conspiracy plot line, and when they talk about story stuff and just talk about the mystery, that's when I want to fall asleep during The Nice Guys. The stuff I really like is overpowering past the stuff I don't like to where I like 70% like it. So now let's talk about 8. 8 and 2. We already talked about 2. 2 is where you dislike it and you're not happy and you would rather be taking some other form of pain than watching this movie. Maybe it's literally putting you to sleep and you really didn't want to be put to sleep by a movie.
Jumpin' jelly sticks, we got magic? Shut the fuck up!
Sometimes the movie can put you to sleep and that's a good thing. And 8 is where you are having a good time. Maybe this movie is really pretty. Maybe this movie has a legendary performance that is just captivating as hell. Maybe it is a near perfect movie, but there are certain really annoying elements that bog the movie down. When you watch a movie that is so damn good and is a 10 or a 9, and it has really lots of racist dialogue.
You're fucking niggers, man. You working niggers, huh?
Daddy, man walks into prison, a white man walks out talking like a fucking nigger. You know what?
Why is it that every nigger I know treats his woman like a piece of shit?
It can suck the movie down just a tiny bit. On paper, an 8 is a very good movie, well above the par of movies, and you're getting into pretty legendary status here. We're gonna move up to 9 and 1. This is where things come to a head, because a 1 out of 10 is technically the lowest you can give a movie, because 0 doesn't really have a value. Traditionally, 1 is where things fucking suck, and you would probably rather be shot in the head than be watching what you're watching right now.
He's Hollywood's it boy. She's a small town girl.
Why are you both so hung up on this guy?
Boring.
9 is the opposite. 9 is a movie that probably charts as one of your favorite movies ever. It is probably near perfect. That's what a 9 out of 10 is, but it does everything right. It does so many things right, and you walk out of that movie a changed human being, a changed soul, a new... You've downloaded Ryan Gosling's whole personality. That's, you know, life-changing movie. Borderline perfect. A 1 is the opposite. The movie makes you feel like your personality got sucked out of you, and now you're a lifeless husk that just walks around. That's 1 and 9. But last, and certainly not least, a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10 should be reserved for like 10 movies max, which I'm breaking right now because on my letterbox I have like 12 movies out of 10. A 10 is something that you consider to be perfect, effortlessly entertaining, endlessly rewatchable. It is a movie that gives you pure joy, pure serotonin. You would pay somebody else to watch this movie. I mean, that's how you have to watch most movies. But you would like, if they were gonna take this movie away forever, so ever watch it again, you had to like buy the licensing rights to it and spend, you know, $1 million. You would pay that money because you want this movie. Whereas the fabled, the legendary, the untouched 0 out of 10, which does not exist, if you had the ability to bundle up every copy of it ever, digital and physical, and form it into one body of mass and send it way down a black hole, its existence entirely would be erased from every person's brain, from all the history books. It would never exist again. You would never know it existed. If you could do that, that's what you would give a 0 out of 10 to. So what did we learn today? We learned that numbers are important and school is important and stay in school. If anything, math was my worst class in all years of school. So maybe you should take everything I said today with a grain of salt, because numbers aren't my thing. I do know that the number of my subscribers is low, so you should click that big red button and help me out with that. Yeah, so this was the score of numbers on a 1 to 10 scale. If you liked it, you know, do something about it, man. Just tell people how much you like. I suppose I'll end the video now.